Let's go Broncos! What if I told you that 4 key members of Sean Payton's coaching staff are being courted by other NFL teams, and that this is great news? What if I told you this could be the clearest sign yet that the Broncos aren't just title contenders, but the new standard in the AFC? Want proof that the Broncos are back? Here it is. And I'll show you why this sudden surge of coaching interest is a sign that Sean Payton's master plan is unfolding exactly as he promised. But before we go any further, be sure to like if you believe the Broncos are building something special. And if you're a true fan who's followed this team through thick and thin, leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos! Let's dominate the AFC." Now, let's get right into it because the buzz around Denver right now is deafening. The Broncos coaching staff isn't just getting recognition, they're being hunted. That's right. No less than 4 key members of Sean Payton's elite staff are now top candidates for coaching jobs elsewhere in the league. And while that might sound like bad news at first, hold tight, because this is actually one of the best signs that this franchise is finally turning the corner. First on the hot list is Vance Joseph. Remember when he was brought back to Denver and faced brutal criticism after that 70-20 loss to the Dolphins? Many thought his return was doomed. But fast forward to now, Vance Joseph is being considered one of the hottest head coaching candidates in football. That's not an exaggeration. He's already interviewed for 6 of the 7 current openings around the NFL. That's not just a comeback. That's a full-blown coaching redemption arc. He's being eyed by the Ravens, who moved on from John Harbaugh, and the Dolphins, who just fired Mike McDaniel. Miami, by the way, is familiar ground for Vance. He was once their defensive coordinator. The odds of keeping him in Denver are slim, and honestly, that's a good thing, because it proves his value is real. And it's not just Vance Joseph. Special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi, Sean Payton's trusted assistant from their New Orleans days, has landed an interview with the New York Giants for their head coaching job. He's been quietly building one of the most effective special teams units in the league, and teams are taking notice. Then there's Davis Webb, the quarterback coach who worked magic with Russell Wilson. Webb, a former player who shared a locker room with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, didn't just elevate Russ, he also coached Bo Nix to back-to-back playoff runs in college. Now he's got 3 interviews lined up, and people across the league are seeing what we've seen all season long. Davis Webb is the real deal. Insiders are also reporting that if the Broncos don't move quickly, Jim Leonhard could be poached as well. He's seen as a rising star, and multiple franchises are circling, looking to make a move. So what does all this mean? It means Sean Payton has built something real, something other teams want. The NFL is saying loud and clear, this is the best coaching staff in football. This kind of talent drain doesn't happen to irrelevant teams. It happens to contenders. And the Broncos? We're not the Lions. We're not going to fall apart if a few assistants leave. Sean Payton has done this before. Back in New Orleans, his staff was constantly being raided. Every year, someone else would get hired away. And every year, he found new talent and kept winning. That's what separates elite head coaches from the rest. It's not just about play calling. It's about culture building. It's about creating an environment where the best coaches want to be and where young talent can grow. People love to say that A players hire players and B players hire C players. Well, Sean Payton, he's an A+, and the NFL is lining up to hire the people he believes in. Just look at the coaching trees of legends like Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay. Their assistants get plucked every year, but their teams keep dominating. Why? Because when you've got a generational play-calling head coach who knows how to attract and develop coaching talent, you don't fall off. You reload. The Patriots lost Matt Patricia, Brian Flores, Joe Judge, and still won Super Bowls. The Chiefs lost Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy, and Eric Bieniemy, then won back-to-back titles. The 49ers lost Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel, DeMeco Ryans, and still went to the NFC Championship, even with a banged-up roster. Sean Payton fits this mold. His teams don't crumble when assistants leave, they get better. And let's not forget, the Broncos have one of the wealthiest ownership groups in all of sports. When you've got money, vision, and a proven leader like Sean Payton, there's no limit to what you can build. The message to every up-and-coming coach in the league is clear. If you want to win, if you want to grow, if you want a shot at the big time, come to Denver. This is where it's happening. Let's keep going, because what happens next is going to define not just this offseason, but the next era of Denver Broncos football. See, losing great coaches is one thing, but what truly sets elite organizations apart is how they respond to that loss. And here's where the Broncos are positioned better than almost any team in the NFL. It all starts with the system Sean Payton has put in place. He's not just a play caller, he's an architect. The entire culture he's building in Denver is designed to replace excellence with more excellence. That's how you build a dynasty. Look at what happened in Baltimore, for example. The Ravens lost their respected defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, no problem. They promoted Mike Macdonald and still made a deep playoff run. Then Macdonald leaves, and guess what? Baltimore just keeps moving forward. That's the kind of internal development system that elite programs run. And that's what Sean Payton is copying right here in Denver. If Vance Joseph leaves, don't panic. Jim Leonhard might step step right in. He's been lurking as one of the league's top defensive minds without a major DC gig yet. If Darren Rizzi goes, Payton has a book full of assistants he's mentored who are ready to step up. And if Davis Webb gets hired away, you better believe Payton already has someone in mind who can pick up where Webb left off. That's what true leadership looks like. But here's the deeper layer to this story. It's not just about continuity, it's about attracting even more talent. This coaching exodus, as scary as it might seem, is actually a recruiting tool. If you're a young coach in this league, watching what's happening in Denver right now is a sign. You see opportunity, you see growth, you see a coaching pipeline that isn't just about holding onto talent. It's about developing it, launching it, and then replacing it with the next rising star. That makes the Broncos the most attractive coaching destination in the NFL. Think about it. You could go work for a middling franchise and hope to survive a year or two, or you could join Sean Payton, help this team compete for a Super Bowl, and get fast-tracked into a top role in the NFL. That's the formula, and that's why every coordinator, QB coach, and special teams assistant who wants to build something lasting is going to be looking at Denver as the place to go. And don't forget, Sean Payton thrives in this type of environment. He's always been at his best when he's adapting. Go back to his time in New Orleans. Every time someone left, he just found the next guy. That's what makes him different from coaches like Dan Campbell. Now, I love Dan Campbell. He's a motivator, a great leader of men, but he's not building a system. He's not an X's and O's guru. When Detroit lost both of its coordinators, they collapsed. Missed the playoffs. That won't happen in Denver, because Sean Payton is both the system and the mind behind it. Even the elite McVay coaching tree can't be ignored here. When the Rams lost Matt LaFleur, Brendan Staley, Kevin O'Connell, and Raheem Morris, all of whom got head coaching jobs, the Rams didn't implode. They won a Super Bowl. They stayed in contention. Why? Because McVay had a process. Sean Payton has that same DNA. He knows how to keep the train moving. And if you still have doubts, consider what Sean Payton has already delivered on. He promised a culture shift in Denver, and we got it. He promised better quarterback play, and Davis Webb helped make that happen. He promised to make this team competitive, and here we are, sitting as the #1 seed in the AFC. Not Kansas City, not Buffalo, not Baltimore, Denver, and it's not a fluke. The league is paying attention. The front offices are paying attention. They're not trying to steal from mediocre franchises. They're trying to siphon off the success that Sean Payton has built brick by brick. And the Broncos? We're just getting started. So here's the bottom line. Broncos country, losing assistants is never easy. Watching guys like Vance Joseph, Darren Rizzi, and Davis Webb move on might sting. But it's a signal that what we've got is real. That Denver has arrived as a true contender again. This is what it looks like when you're building a powerhouse. Other teams come knocking. They want a piece of what you've got. And you can bet Sean Payton is ready for that. Because the next wave of great coaches is already circling. The Broncos are no longer the team searching for relevance. We are the model. We are the standard. And we've got the infrastructure, the leadership, and the vision to keep this thing rolling year after year. So Broncos fans, I want to hear from you. Which potential departure worries you the most? Vance Joseph, Darren Rizzi, or Davis Webb? Or do you believe Sean Payton's system is strong enough to handle anything the offseason throws our way? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our deep dive Broncos coverage. Smash that like if you believe in what Sean Payton is building. And check out the videos on your screen right now for more exclusive insights. G.